All right, there we go. We got something. I don't think. No, wait a minute. I don't see it still. There it is. Alrighty, there we are. Doc here from North America. It's another fun-filled day. It is TGIM. Thank God it's Monday. That's right. Thank God it's Monday. And we're seeing, as we said last week, when Mr. Trump went into the hospital, we thought this would be a very positive thing, in the sense that now the world will see the virus for what it is. In other words, no media putting their spin on, nobody pretending. Here you have a live guinea pig right there, Mr. Trump, and you can see how ill or how unill he is and how long it'll take for him to recover, because the numbers are there. It's just that the media doesn't talk about it, and that is 90 at a person of his age, they have a 99 point something like 5 success rate of living. So it's almost 100%. So, I mean, they're fudging the numbers. They're making everybody crazy. And now you've got two live guinea pigs. You got the first lady, who I think is like 48 years old, and her number is something like 99.7. And even the lowest of the numbers, when you're in the age of the 70s, like Mr. Trump, it's 95.5. So it's like 96 out of 100 live. Now, is the 4% or 3% death-defying? Most definitely. But is it really the coronavirus that takes them out, or is it something else that takes them out? And that's what the problem is. Doc is into real numbers, and I can tell you some real things. Hey, IVBB, how you doing? Our death rate every year in America is around 2.8, 2.9 million. And coming into the end of September, we are at 2 million. So there's like 900,000 to go between here and the end of the year. So in other words, if we don't have a death rate that's higher than, say, 3 point something, then obviously we've done something wrong about how we shut our society down and how we dealt with this virus to begin with. So that is all I've got to say about that. But it is important because numbers are real, and I like real numbers. And that's what Doc is chasing after every day. Real numbers, real facts, repeatable research over and over, seeing the same results from different forms of math. In other words, I want consistency. I want reality. And it is me sipping a cup of tea at the same time. So now let's get rolling along with the markets here. IVB, how you doing? Good to see you. You can see here, I start off nowadays with the Swiss franc, because it does seem to reflect when it's going down, the dollar is going down. And the Swiss franc is gaining value. As the product itself against the dollar goes down, it means it becomes more valuable. And so that's what we're seeing there. And I find it very interesting to start off nowadays with that. And then we jump over, we can see it here on J4X at the same time. You can see it's got a lot of red there, and it's been heading towards the bottom. This has broken those solid lines, just like we went into our sell here. It's doing basically the same thing. It's breaking down and going down there. So then what we do is we jump over to the euro, or anything someone would like to see. We're very fast to explore any new project, any new product, just to get an idea, or products we've been following, and someone says, hey, I'm long or shorted, or I'd like to know what it's doing. What does your work say? And then we give them our, mathematical opinion. And so that's where we're at there. So now let's jump over to the euro. Let's see what the euro looks like this morning. Oh, where's our fact check spreadsheet? There's the fact check spreadsheet. Let's move that over, like so, right there. And let's take a look at the euro. And also, while we were looking at the Swiss, let's just take a look at that. 3 weeks in a buy and 4 days in a sell. So it looks like it's, let me just take a look at it real quick. You can see here, It's trying to roll over. The white line is hitting the time manifold on the plus side, and maybe it'll slip into the sell, whereas you can see on the daily basis it's been in a sell since this nice topping area here from this day on right there. So there it is. All right, now let's take a look at the euro, and I'm checking the chat line. Oh, there it is, chat line. How crazy am I to expect a 2-day bearish correction on the S&P? Well, we've seen that. No, you're not crazy. Come on. And it's end of the year. It's a new quarter. There's a lot of conflicting direction. In other words, there's a lot, money wants to get out. I can tell you, when I was in the hedge fund industry, and I was working with some of the best, and, they would be like, it'd be like November, or October, and they would be like, we're getting ready to start closing our positions out. And then the last quarter could be painful. And so they would give up like 2 quarters of some nice profits and still be up for the year, but they would be giving a lot up, by trying to run the fund all the way to, say, December 20th or 28th or something like that. So I saw the hedge fund industry slowly drift to the point where they started to unwind their positions earlier and earlier and earlier. Before you know it, they're unwinding them in September. So you're not crazy about the idea that that's going on. In other words, can a bear market last more than 2 days? I guess it all comes down to what it was generated from to begin with. If it's bad, data, in other words, if the data is good data, but the news itself is bad to the market, then it goes down. And obviously vice versa. So, what we can do is, instead of taking a look at the euro real quick, let's take a look at the market. Let's just do that. I mean, that's what I crave for. I like the idea that people take a look at something and try to analyze it, and I like to learn from it and try to figure it out too. Now, in this case here, you can see in our work, our S&P, they sold it down. You can see that, but by the end of the day, it was a nice big green dot. You can see the white line was screeching up. We still are not in a weekly buy, though. So your imagination is accurate more than less accurate, IVB. See what I'm saying? We're in a weekly sell. We've been in a weekly sell since over in this area here. Our daily sell, we went into a daily sell all the way back in here, almost at the top of this action, on that big one down day after the spike up of all-time highs again. And you can see it worked its way down, and we've been in a weekly sell from it. And we went into a buy. Was that the 25th of last week, is it? Let's see. No, that'd been like the Friday before. So that's like 2, 4, 6, 7. This is the 8th day in a daily buy. And it has moved up from the, what is that, the 32.88 area, basically, 87.25 on a close. And it's moved back up to like 120 points. Is that really right? Yeah, I guess it is. It got up to 88, right? Yeah, 88 right there. Is it 88? 84 there. 88 there. And so, you can see on our fact check spreadsheet, it shows 6. Should say 7. Right there. You see that. You can see it's in a weekly sell for 4 weeks, but in the daily buy for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, going on 7 days. Yeah, so it's a 6. So, the news was the president got the virus. Okay, I saw it as a positive in the sense of now the world will see what I see in mathematical, biological terms. We will see a live guinea pig. Matter of fact, we'll see 2 of them. We'll see the First Lady, and we'll see the President of the United States with the virus and how things are played out, because we don't see that. In other words, they tell us all the time how many people have caught it, how many have tested positive, but they're not telling us how many die. And that's as they would say, is where the rubber meets the road. In other words, we need to see how many people are really dying from this virus. CDC came out about a month ago. We all published it. Us that are upset about the fact that the numbers are being skewed all the time by the media, and we said, hey, they're saying it could be as many as 10,000 that are dead, or 200,000. That's a real dichotomy. Imagine if I had said to you, Well, if it doesn't go up, it'll go down. When someone says, "Hey Doc, which direction do you think the S&P is going?" Well, guess what? If it doesn't go up, it's going to go down. Or I could say, "Hey, if it doesn't go down, more than likely it'll go up." And that's what they've been doing to us. So that's not exactly a scientific way of, looking at things. As we take another sip of our tea. All right. So that's where that's at, IVB. You can see the strength is there. And we can take a look at the NQs at the same time, since we're in the stock indice universe. And you can see here, it's flirting today with the sell. And they hit that hard on Friday. And there's some interpretation you can try to put to that, too. And that is that, obviously, if Mr. Trump wins again, there is a real strong push to, just like they did to, what was it, Standard Oil of America, with J.D. Rockefeller, to break the company up into 7 smaller companies. They felt that one company had too much power, and they wanted 7 different companies to be able to compete against each other. So they forced Standard Oil to break itself up. And we're seeing that now with like Google and Facebook. They think that there should be competing companies out there doing the same work. And since you have an FCC, Federal Communications Commission, then obviously these things have to be paid attention to. Or get rid of the Federal Communications Commission and just let everybody fly. In other words, just let them all play. It's one or the other. You can't have it both ways. And so if it's not going up, then it might be going down. And so that's what it really comes down to there. So now you can see the cable, not the cable, the Nasdaq or the Tech 100 that they have that on Dukascopy here. Let's put that up in there. The Tech 100, and this is the best of the best of the best. I mean, these stocks are the ones that rock this planet. They make things go. One of the reasons I'm doing the Swiss franc now, the saltine, at the very beginning of the webinar, is I'm enamored by the success of the National Bank of Switzerland. They are sharp. They are smart. They are, hardworking. I can't say enough positive things. You can see it. When they create money out of thin air, they figure out how to invest it correctly and not lose it. And so they're working assets very well. And we've gone through webinars. I've made webinars about this. Talked about what the National Swiss Bank is investing in. They bought the lows of this market back in here in late February and middle March. They were buying. They created, I don't know, $20 billion more dollars, and they bought products that are rocking, and they bought all this weakness here, and then they rode it up, and I think they're still just flat out long, and their bank is doing fantastic, and that's why it's a really good tool to watch the currency, because it mirrors the dollar perfectly. So, all right, now we'll jump over to the euro. Let's take a look at that euro right there, and you can see it's kind of lifting up again. I guess they pushed it into a sell on Friday there. Let me just double check the spreadsheet. Sometimes these things don't light up on there, but the spreadsheet is usually more accurate. Yeah, so it's in a sell for one day. And it's 3 weeks in a sell. You can see since here it's been in a sell. Right in there it went into the sell. It was in a daily sell. It was a nice ride down. Now it's going into a buy. It's gone sideways more than anything else. Then it went into a daily sell there. And now is fighting to get back into the buy as we speak. And, we are seeing the weekly needs to do a little work. It's trying to get through the time manifold in there. So. Oh my, IVB. Oh my, I like that. Oh my. Sounds like something surprising. Oh my. All right, let's where are we at here? Let's put up. Oh, and you can see it here, IVB. Same thing with the 100. It's rolling over here on the J4X, just like it is up on our screen there. Now let's put the euro up there and see what they're doing with the euro today. And you can see there it's trying to lift on J4X2, looking positive there. And as you can see here, trying to lift up also. And we can see the white lines through the zero line here. Let's widen that out a little bit to give you a better visual. See that lifting up? That's tightening up right there. Oh, Mountain West. How you doing, Mountain West? I want to invest like the SMB. SMB. Yes, I hear you. I hear you. Well, I can tell you this. Following our weekly charts and daily charts, you can do a pretty good job at it. You just have to have your sectors chosen right. What they're doing is they're doing the Momo plays. That's what we used to call them on the trading floors, the momentum trades. They know that Apple, first of all, Apple's the #1 stock in the world. So I mean that's a no-brainer. Amazon is in the top 2 retailers in the world. Still fighting with Walmart. Walmart's obviously much bigger and powerful, but Amazon's doing a fine job. So they bought both of those stocks. That's a no-brainer right there. And then because they're going with the momentum stocks, and we can put that up there for you. Let's just do that real quick. Just let me so I can describe better what a momentum-looking stock looks like. Right there. And okay, so there is the Tesla. Okay, and you can see from a $200 stock, it's now it went as high as what, $500 there? Yeah, $500. Because they've split it, and it's hanging out in the 4s now. And when we go and look at a Apple did the same thing. It was a $800 stock, and they divided it by 10, I guess. And you can see this thing now has been up to 130 or 1,300 and some odd dollars almost from that $1,000 split. And you can see here it's holding up. Now, it was just as when they loaded the gun, right in here. It's like as if they were watching Doc's numbers too, And I actually put the proof up there that they were doing some good cost analysis, and they were just figuring that, okay, we'll start dollar costing averaging in, since we can create equity out of thin air. And so they were, they knew that they were near a bottom of some form, and they're talking to the Federal Reserve, and they know where the Federal Reserve's head is at, and that is that it's going to support a lot of products here, in the world. Is Dukascopy a bank or a Forex broker? It's a Forex broker, and it's a subsidiary of Swiss Bank. That's what that is. That's what Dukascopy is. And in these times, who can really divide a bank with a brokerage house anymore? I mean, Goldman Sachs is a bank now. That's funny, and so forth. But this is their action here. And so Dukascopy is a subsidiary of the Swiss Bank. That's why their website has Swiss Bank up on it. And you can see here, they were buying in this zone here. They bought there, and they bought in here, and then Doc's math turned up here, and it was off to the races. And you can see it topped out in here, and now we're trying to. This week we're already battling to get back up into the plus side when it comes to the Apple. And so that's what they're doing, is they're following the momentums and so forth. Let's see. Okay, so Mountain West says, it's a subsidiary of no, not the Swiss National Bank. It's a subsidiary of Swiss Bank. That's a private bank. The Swiss National Bank is their Federal Reserve. Well, that's pretty legal. What's that? Creating money and then buying assets. Yes, it is. National banks are allowed to do that. But most of them do it poorly. I mean, imagine if you were following the Turkish National Bank. You'd be shaking your head like, we just wasted another $3 billion. It's worth zero now. I mean, the assets that the Turkish National Bank is buying versus, say, what the Swiss National Bank is doing is so much different. Right. So Swiss Bank. Here, let me see if we can do something here. Can we put that up there? I think we can. Yeah, here. So we go like that, and then we go like that. Does that do it? Let's see if this does it. And let's see. So this one doesn't say it. This is the front page. Let's show you what I'm looking at here, just to give you a heads up. Let's go to that, and there it is. There you can see there's Dukascopy, and they have the Swiss symbol, and they're in Latvia, so they're not based in Switzerland. And then I guess if you go to the home, let's try that. See what it does there. There you go. Dukascopy, Swiss Bank Group. There you go. You can see it in the headline there. And then these are where some of the offices are. Geneva, Hong Kong, Riga. That's in Latvia. Kiev, Moscow, and Tokyo. So, that is what's going on there. And, it's a good organization. Does a good job like most of these brokers do nowadays. And it's got a solid parent behind it. So, all right. And that's the point right there we're talking about. Swiss Banking Group. There we are. Now let's go back to, if I can find it, where's my button? There it is. Back to the charts. Yeah, so now the National Bank there, they were smart. They saw that market breaking down. Let's see, where's it at? Oh yeah, right here. Let's move this over a little bit. They saw the market breaking down in here, and they knew that the Fed would step up at some point. They also, being a national bank like that, they have a good idea of what's going on. They're following it. They saw those volatility funds going bankrupt, that they were getting crushed, and they knew that they were selling, and that the selling was going to go away, and buying was going to come back in. I talked about it in my webinar every day, about the idea that when you're short option volatility, which they were, this is the volatility funds that got in trouble. They had made billions of dollars over an 8 or 9 year period, and then when everything fell apart volatility wise, they lost it all and went out of business. But they had to fight every day to try to stay in business. And when you're short option volatility, you must sell what you're short the volatility of with selling it. So if you're short, Apple computer volatility and the stock is collapsing, you can't buy it. You have to sell it short to hedge your risk. Whereas the Swiss National Bank, who knew better, knew that this was going to come to an end, and then that the buyers would come back and the sellers would be all gone because they would be out of business. So they created, I don't know, $15-20 billion of cash, and then they stepped up and started buying. And then before you know it, Doc's math was jumping into, you can see that week right there literally at the lows. My black histogram was already plus. The following week, the white line was plus with it, and it was off to the races for Apple. And we didn't go into a sell. The stock was, I guess, in a post-split value, was trading at like $60 a share, and then they bought $3.5 billion worth of it, and it went up. It doubled. It traded up to 140 almost dollars a share, 137.97. So I take my hat off to the Swiss National Bank. Whereas, like I said, imagine if Turkey had thought the same things to do instead of the way they have invested. Every time they create money, they invested in something that's going to zero all the time, it seems like. So, these national banks, not all of them are very smart. Some of them can be very foolish, or they're following the national designation of their government, and they're buying stuff that they know that is not going to be profitable, but it has to be bought to hold up the strength of things. And that's the gist of it all as I take another sip of my coffee, tea, and I'm not knocking down alcohol yet because this is it's 8 in the morning here, so we have a trading day to do still. So that's what that's all about. Now we can go back to looking at the euro again. Let's take a look at that. I think we or did we, I don't remember if we finished off the euro or not. But let's just take a quick look at it again. And there it is. There you can see it's trying to lift up. Even the weekly is trying to. Well, look how tight the manifold's becoming too. When you get that manifold that tight, it can be a sign of some action to come. You see that where it gets tight here, going into a weekly, and it goes on to a nice little tear. I don't know if it's going to go on a tear or not, but if the math turns up, then Doc is bullish, and if the math turns down, then Doc is bearish. That's pretty much the way we roll around here, as you can see, like right there. So, all right. Anybody want to see anything particular? If not, we'll jump over to cable. See what the cable's up to, and there's the cable. Holding up pretty well here. It's been in a daily buy for over a week now. The daily has a lot of work to do. It's fighting to get back up in here. You can see the histogram has pierced the down manifold, the minus manifold, the nonlinear time manifold there. And you can see the white line has pierced it, and we had the pressure from it. We went into a daily buy, but this is not turning up, so I'm not sure if we're going to get much further than this until this gets going now. You can see it's trying to roll over on the daily basis as we speak, right there. But it's still up for the day. So we're going to be watching this to see if it changes direction there. You can see that's line, what is that? That's cable, right? So that would be line 13 right there. So we're 4 weeks in a sell and 5 days in a buy. So we're stuck in a neutral position for trading. It's not giving us the edge to know what to do. Well, we've had oil doing that to us too. Oil's been torturing the daylights out of us. Oh, yes. There we are. Sure. All right. So, let's see. What else we got going? Let's jump over to... We're just looking at cable now. Okay, I think we've derived where we are with the cable. Let's just take a look, or fast look on J4X to see if there's any divergence that's going on, or if it's keeping with the pattern of trying to follow the math, which is always nice. It usually does. It's 70% correlated, so that's pretty good to our math. You can see here, strength is there too. Lots of green, just like us, with lots of green on the dots. See? All right, now we'll jump over to our favorite, and that is... did I miss that? It's 44 now. That's what that is. There we are. Turkish lira is now 44 weeks in a weekly buy. 44. We're only 8 weeks away from being able to say it's 1 full year. Amazing. Just amazing. Let's see what they're doing to it today. What to do, what to do, what to do. Trading at 778. I believe 788 is the all-time high, I think. I think that's what that is. You can see it's worked its way down a little bit, but look at how the white line here is battling with that, what we call the three-dimensional zero line. The dotted dashed golden line there. It just not breaking down there. Now let's take a look at it through Doc's work itself. Oh, there we go. We got a few more. So Mountain West says Swiss follows the dollar because the Swiss franc is not very volatile. I think it's, yeah, because it's a solid product. Exactly. That's I agree with you. And Mountain West says least volatile of the 8 major currencies. That makes sense too because they are very healthy. It's a very healthy thing there. Daniel. Yes, I agree, Mountain West. Totally. You are spot on. I agree. Daniel says, hi, Doc. Hi to you, Daniel. Cable looks so bullish for now. I know. And but the thing is, I can't get that weekly to lift. I'm like as if I could do something about it. But, you can see here. Let me just go back to it real quick. You can see here, it's trying. We got a little curve going on here. And we got the black histogram trying to move up towards the zero line. Would be nice to see this thing get into a weekly. Maybe they would go after this area here, like the 132s. But right now, this is instead we're seeing the daily trying to roll over a little bit. Still has some work to do, but we're seeing that. You can see the product itself is up for the day. So I mean, it's trapped in that neutral zone with us. That's line 13. So it's 4 weeks in a sell and 5 days in a buy. So you can't be short it. Um, even with it being in a weekly sell, if you're trading the options, you can be long some bull spreads, that type of thing, for the last few days. But I mean, that's about it. And so that's where we are with that. See, oil and stock indices are still kind of bearish, below their monthly and quarterly pivots. Yes, good. I labeled. What was that, Thursday or Friday? I labeled it with the webinar pivots or something like that. Pivots and something. So it's good that you give us the pivots. I like that. It's nice to have the pivots all given up to us. Cable has a quarterly and yearly pivot at 129.01. So we're basically banging against it. That happens a lot. Isn't that something? You follow pivots. I've followed pivots. Isn't that amazing how the pivots can do that? They can define an area of support and resistance very clearly. I think that's really good. I think a lot of traders here should tune into the pivot conversation every so often. Pivots are really important. There's no doubt about that. Let's see, what else can we do about that? I guess that's about it. Yeah, I agree with everything you've said there too. All very precise. All right, now all I know is I was heading for Turkish lira. Let's go check out Turkish lira and see what they're doing to this thing again. Still, it tried to get into the sell and missed it. It was I think it was plus there. That's what it was, zeroed and plus on one of them. The plot 5. See, it's plus. So let's see who's calling there. Someone just tried to call. Missed call. Yes, indeed. That was what that was. Okay. So, Turkish lira moving up. You can see the white line fighting not even remotely play with the weekly. I mean, we can go back and look at this over weeks now. But this thing's been in a weekly buy. Look at that. I mean, it doesn't... I mean, even back in here in late June... Is it June? No, late July going into August. Still above. And when you go to the fact check spreadsheet, there it is right there on line 17. 44 weeks in a buy, 4 days in a buy. This, whatever they're doing with the money, obviously they're not utilizing it as well as the Swiss bank does. That's for sure. Turkish might get an 8 handle. I know. I keep on thinking one day when we got, where was it? About 6 days ago? 7 days ago? Was that 6 days ago? On the 9th of August, was it September 28th? The high was 7.890, almost 10, 095. So wow, I mean, yeah, I'm right there with you. I keep every day. Matter of fact, one day I accidentally didn't realize I had euro. Here, let me show you what that is. Let's go look at J4X, and I was, taking a quick look. And I must have accidentally, maybe during the webinar we might have talked about it or something. So I wasn't really paying attention the next day. And we went, I opened up J4X, and all I saw was TRY. I didn't even look to see the UR. And I saw the 9 handle. And I was like, oh my God, it leaped through the 8 and went to the 9. It's really ripping through the roof there. It's like, oh my goodness. Yeah. But, when you go to the dollar, obviously, the dollar Turkish lira pairs trade right there. Right there. There it is. It's a 7. Heading for that 8. I know. Who knows what President Aragon's going to do now. He's, since he's taken over as prime minister and now president, I mean, the product has gone from 1.5 to 7.89. So, yeah, whatever strategy he has, obviously the one thing is very clear. He wants it to go higher, that's for sure. Because that's what everything he's doing economically is making it go higher. And you would think that he would notice that. Maybe he doesn't. I don't know. I would assume so, since he's on the National Foundation of Finance and his son-in-law is now the head of the central bank. You would think that he would know what's going on there. So I guess, yeah, in all honesty, obviously he wants this thing to go higher because, he's doing whatever he's doing over and over again. So that's That's, in other words, that's your classic basis of trying to understand the story behind a product's movement. And that is, if you've been prime minister and you've been president and you are president now of the country, and the product started off when you were prime minister at 1.5 and now it's trading at 7.5. In this case here, it's 7777. And so obviously it's a hell of a lot higher. And you as prime minister and president should recognize the fact that it's higher. And so you would have to be thinking about the policies that you're doing. So obviously he wants it to go higher. It's part of a strategy he has. So it's going higher because that's the only way to look at it. It's going higher because, he doesn't do anything to make it go down. So that's where that's at. Even when he does, it doesn't have any longevity. All right. Where do we head from here? Anybody want to see anything particular? We can go to whatever you would like to see. If not, we'll just, we usually go to Canadian from here. It's really odd. The Canadian seems to trend with this product, which is really odd. Now, obviously, you can see right here. Let's put it on J4X too. Here's Canadian. You see it's working its way down. And the Turkish lira is doing the same. Move down a little bit. But you can see here, it's heading towards the lows. A lot of red there. Same as ours. A lot of red there. It's heading towards its lows, and it's now doing a little bounce up. And you can see the weekly. We've been in a weekly buy since, like right there. One full week going on our second week now, I guess it is. That is line 20. Yeah, so we're now on the second week of a full buy and going for a third. And you can see here, it went into the buy in this area here. There was the daily buy, led to the weekly buy. We went into a sell, and it's going down. But it's not going down a lot in the buy signal. It's keeping you, from losing a little bit here for the last 3 or 4 days. And you can see it's on its lows there. So look at the way that flat lines here. Remember traders, this is heading towards the end of the year too, And so what happens then is that the banks, central banks and so forth, funds are all going to be settling up and trying to lock in their profits. So anything can go more than usual. Let's put it that way. Meanwhile, the Chinese yuan keeps appreciating now to 6.72. Yeah, but that's not a currency that's floating. That currency doesn't float. So I'm not sure how to interpret that. To me, that's like the Hong Kong dollar, They don't. It's locked to the dollar. So the Chinese have locked the currency to the dollar. So they have to make their currency even stronger because they're getting less business. I don't think that means much in the sense of if it's got any reality to it when looking at the Chinese currency itself. Let's see. Mountain West says, do you compare AUD and Swiss? And yeah, we can look at them in hour 1 or hour 4. We can do that. Let's see where we have a spot for that. Right here, is it? I think that's where it's at. Yeah, there's gold for 1 hour, and then we can slide. Here, let's make that one whole screen there. So there's a 1 hour gold. You can see we went to a buy signal here, and it's moved up. I don't know, about $10, something like that, over the last couple hours. Now let's take a look at it in the what product are we looking at here? We're looking at AUD. So let's look at AUD. AUD. There it is. See what the 1 hour looks like there. It's loading, back loading now. Let me see how many days back we went. 21 days. Not too bad. Let's make it like half of that. Let's see what we can get out of that. There you go. So you can see here, this is an hourly chart, and you can see it went into a buy on, was that 2, 4, the 5th bar back. So 2, 3, 4, 5. So it went into the buy here, but has not been very positive at all with it. I mean, we keep on going back up to that area, and you can see it's trying to push a sell, went into a sell on this one right here, and then right back. Well, it couldn't go into sell because it was green, so, but it was minus, so and it hit the time manifold, and then bounced off of it and lifted up again. You know, not a lot though. That's the AUD on the 1 hour. Now we can, and then what was the other one? Swiss franc. Let's take a look at the Swiss franc, and then we'll go do 4 hour ones. Dollar Swiss. Right there. And this is a 1 hour one, and this should be 11 hours. There you go. And in this case here, pushed you into the sell here, and it, you know, went down the next bar. It was instant gratification, and it lifted up, gave you pressure, and that's where it went into the sell on that close. So you can see it's been a profitable thing, but kind of sloppy. This was a better one, obviously, last night, right there, because you got instant gratification, really, fast out of the Asian market. There is, let's see, okay, and so let me just read a little bit more of Mountain West, and then we'll say, hey, Ferris, how you doing? Let's see, is comparing as these two are exactly the opposite of each other, resulting in mirroring of U.S. dollar, but these two confirm each other, U.S. dollar following. Okay, I agree with you there too. I'm not really sure how strong the dollar is when it comes to being a leader, because it seems to be run to more than invested in. But let's do the 4 hour look, and then we'll jump over to Ferris. What did Ferris say? Ooh, we got somebody else. Let's see. 9-pack. I like that. Hey, 9-pack, how you doing? What do you think of the trend behind gold? You know, that's an interesting one. It's a very interesting one. Let me just check out Ferris's thing first, and I'll be right back to you on that. But that's a really good question. I like that. And see, I've been meaning to ask you, how many trades do you get involved in on an average per month based on your approach? You don't have to answer if it's too personal. But no, there's a lot of trades, because it depends on how many products we're following. We do follow, we're following, let's do this. So we're following this, and we get into trades here. You can see all these right there. We're following some of the currencies. I'm only personally trading a few of them, but we get a lot of signals. A lot of different signals in a lot of different places. Let's see, we're following here. I pay attention to gold a lot. I like to trade the gold, and I like to trade the stock indices, and I like to trade the oil. We did jump into the silver action. That was pretty good. When we saw that it was making an interesting move there. So there's a lot of trades. We have lots of trades. We just don't utilize them all. That's the only difference. 9-pack. We're working on a deal right now to do that. Instead of me opening up a trading desk again, it's a lot easier to do that, to do the deal that Robin and I are working on. So we're going to go from there. Actually, I think I have to answer an email that we got. I haven't answered that. I think we got it last Wednesday or something like that. But yes, there's a lot of trades to be had, and the math does a lot of good work, and we have an 8.5 out of 10 accuracy rate. So there's a lot of trades. And oil right now is putting the squeeze on us, as we can say. Okay, now where did I leave off? I hope that answered that question there. And then let's jump over to 9-pack. 9-pack saying about the gold. So let's put the gold up there. Oh, you know what? I don't think I finished off. I didn't finish off Daniel. Was it Daniel? Who? No, Mountain West. I wanted to put the. Let me do the 4 hour. I didn't do the 4 hour for you. So let's take a look at the 4 hour real quick. Got to finish that off too, and then what we'll do is we'll run into gold, and we'll look at that also at the same time. All right, there we go. Now this is the 4 hour, and it's still backfilling, as you can see right there, and our math will come up. There it is, and you can see, in this case here, it didn't go into the sell until here also, and it's been pressing down well. There's your buy, right? I guess that's right there, isn't it? No, that's a minus. So the buy wasn't until here. This line, you can see it swung down, swung up. That's why we don't really follow things on the hourly basis. You can see that was a good one right there. A lot of gratification. That was a good buy right there. That was a winner chicken dinner. There's a really great sell there on the 27th. You know, that was excelente. Wow, look at this move here. This is the Swiss Saltine. It was a dash from here, from the 91s up into the 9160. Yeah. Even then you couldn't do a sell because it was double dotted here. And then it just ran even more, double dotted again. It did not even minuses on this one. So that ran from 90 and a half or something like that, 90.75 to 93. So there's your 4 hour there. That's pretty cool. And then let's see. I just do one more, and then we're going to answer 9-pack. We got to do the Canadian, right there, Mountain West. Let's do the Canadian. Was it the Canadian? No, it was AUD. That's what it was. AUD. There we are. There we go. I think. There we go. Okay. There we are. And that's filling in. And let's see what they did. A few ticks and we should get that. And just a quick look while we're waiting for that. Let's just go over to the gold for 9-pack. And you can see here we've been in a weekly sell since this area here. But it's really a flat line overall. But it went to the weekly sell here. We had a daily sell. Caught the sell-off here, which was nice. Then it got into a buy here, and it's been in a buy since, I guess, right? Yeah. So we go over to the spreadsheet. The spreadsheet has line 6. We're 4 days in a buy, and we're 4 weeks in a sell. So it's a neutral at the moment, unless you're trading the options. And then so you can see here that it's moved up fairly well. I don't know if there's a lot of gas to that. Now let's see if let's go back to that 4 hour. There it is for AUD. So you can see here the sell-off was... what did it do here? It stayed in the sell-off. So once it went into the sell-off on this one, it stayed in the sell-off all the way. What did it do here? Still a red dot. So it stayed in the sell-off all the way down to here. Right there. And then it bounced up for a little bit and then rolled over again. And it was short-lived. And went into the sell for that. And went down and back to it. And then it went into the buy there. And it had a nice little run up into there. And you can see it went into the sell here. And it did go into a sell because you got a red dot there. So then it went into a sell for 1 4 hour period. And it went right back into the buy. And gave you any money you lost easily in spades, in multiples. And then you can see here's the sell right there. And that was a nice winner chicken dinner too. And now you can see where we're at as we speak. It's got a little red dot generating. And you know, it's been going flat for hours. Okay, so that answered that one. And who was that? That was Mountain West, right? Okay, so that's cool. Now we've let's see, Ferris we've answered. Let's see, 9-pack. Let's put gold in there and just take a look at them in those same bases. Do you care about that? No. Okay. What's that? 9-pack says I'm just coming. Let's see. Okay. 9-pack says, what do you think of the trend in gold? I'm just coming. Is Dukascopy a bank or a forex broker? Same question. Oh yes, it's a subsidiary of Swiss Bank and it's a forex broker. Okay. So I think we showed you that. Let me just show you this real quick. We had that still left up. So where do we go there? I'll find it in a second. There it is right there. No, that's not there. There it is. See it right there. Dukascopy Swiss Bank Group. There we go. And so, yeah, the gold, you know, your question about the gold 9-pack, overall, it's just, it's a safe haven. It's a good product. I'd imagine that after the election, I guess it could. It's sometime, obviously considered an inflation product. So after the election, if they think that the economy is going to get really rocking with Mr. Trump back in again, that could have an effect on rising prices again with gold, Let's see, Daniel says good. No, not good, gold. Gold looking for a breakout. Futures monthly, quarterly, 19. Yeah, it seems like the pivots matched it right up to it, hasn't it? Let's just put that up there. Right there. There we are. Yeah, you can see that. This is no, that's not that. Let's put gold in there. Gold. I know I have this. There it is. Gold. So G. There it is. And it's decky right there. There we are. Yeah, you can see gold now has been, when a sell. Now, that's interesting. Gold in a 4-hour sell now since the 1908 area, and it swung all over the place, but in the end result got down to 08, got down to 1891 too. You can see that low there, and now is back up and above it. It's at 1913, and it's trying to get into a buy. You got a green dot going on here, and you got the histogram. Let's widen that out a little bit. You got the histogram and the white line jumping through the zero line there. So it's trying. We got some buying going on in there again. So I hope I've answered everybody's question at the moment. And if not, just ask it again. Don't be afraid. Doc likes to learn. That's what we're really doing by having so many people ask questions and look at different products they're interested in. I learn from looking at the products that they're looking at. Like, who asked it? Was it Mountain West? Said something like, how much, or was it first? It was for us, was saying about how many signals is it? I've been meaning to ask how many trades. Yes, to get involved in on an average per day, and that's a good question, and we get a lot of work here. It's tough to start this new structure and trade at the same time. So, but it's going to be very profitable in the end result because we're going to. It's a lot easier than executing trades and trying to make trades. Think up trades, find trades, and then invest in them. It's a very trafficky thing. But if I give out certain signals to buy certain things with this new organization that Robin has connected us up to, that will be a lot easier because then I'm just searching, looking through my inventory. And I can put that up there, and it has a high success rate, so it works out well. I'm glad I entertained you. Excellent. Because Doc is here to entertain, trust me. Ha-ha funny. Like, Doc likes to be ha-ha funny. That's why he's the singing trader. So, Doc likes that. I think that you need to have that relaxed mind to trade. You can't be intense. You need to be focused. Some people get confused between being focused and being intense, and I like to keep it light. I like everybody to feel a little bit, relaxed. So that is where it's at. Oh, I guess we got the Dukascopy thing running too at the same time. Let's put the charts back up there. There it is. And there's the gold. You didn't even see what I was pointing at. So there's the gold. You can see that gold has been selling down. Now it's trying to climb up into a buy there on a 4-hourly basis. Interesting, eh? Very interesting. And so that is what it is. We follow these numbers, and the numbers do a good job of keeping us honest. And that's what it's all about in the end. And we have a fact check spreadsheet there, the Excel sheet, following our past mathematical predictions. And it's all laid out to you right there, and you don't have to guess it too much. So that's a really good thing, That is a good thing. Now, what else can we look at here? We've got about 4 more minutes, something like that. So if you have any particular product you would like to see on the daily or hourly or 4-hourly, just give a yell. We'll throw it up out there. And where did we leave off? We were looking at gold for who was looking at gold? Daniel. Okay, yes, he was looking at the pivots in it. So we're just hanging around the pivot area. And you can see there a couple of days ago, what's that? The high was 17.9. Just right up there to his pivots. He has them between 17 and 12. So. All right, let's take a look at crude oil. It's trying to torture me as best as it can. It went into the weekly buy. It gave us some little wins, but it didn't give us a big win, and it kept on rolling over, driving us crazy. Then we went into the sell on Friday. I'm thinking, okay, now they're going to clock this puppy. But no, what did we do? We closed with a red and a green, and through the zero line on Friday. And I was like, ah, you got to be kidding me. So you can't be short yet. And it's like, oh my God, I hate that. And then at the same time, now it's cleanly ripping through the roof, trying to drive ourselves back up to where we started off with that weekly. And so oil has been one challenging product to watch. Let's see. Mountain West says, so you put up the H4 and the daily signals at the same time? No, I don't. I don't use a 4H, and I don't use 1H. I trade on contracts and ticks, and then dailies and so forth, and weeklies. On the options, I do dailies and weeklies. On the intraday trading, I use the like in this case here. You can see right there. Is that right there? Yeah. There you go. There's so you can see this thing's through it, and it moves up, or vice versa. It goes into a sell here, breaks down, comes back up a little bit in there, tries to give us a head fake, and gets into a sell again, there. And that's a longer term. I watched that on a more longer term intraday basis, and I use something like this, short it here, cover it for a profit, get long in here, that type of thing. And you can see that action there. There's your long there. There's your short there. There's your long there. You see how they work out. There's the short there. There's a long there, which was short-lived, and then it goes into a short that is short-lived again and may give back what you gave up, and then that gets you into a buy here, right in that one, and that's a winner chicken dinner and sloppy, of course. And it tries to go into a sell here, and it throws you back into the buy again. And I'm looking at, I use a combination. I'm looking at this, the 3600 contract on the S&Ps. I'm looking at the 336 contract on the NQs, and then also watching the Russell. I find the Russell to be the new NASDAQ in a sense, the speculative stocks. Let's see, putting up the 2 time frames is better. What, 1 and 4? I imagine so. I like spatial mathematics measurements more. I'm not really big on the classical Newtonian hourly minutes thing, but do follow it on a daily and weekly basis. But then I guess you could say that in some aspects, is that like a closed set of a neighborhood? When you really think about it in math terms, when you're looking at dailies and weeklies. So, I see oil still needs above 40. Yeah, I agree. I wouldn't surprise me any if we finally do that too. And it's been one of the more whippier products I've had to follow in a while. And I know that my math always brings us back to the promised land. So I know that sooner or later it's going to throw us into something that's going to make anything and everything that anybody was trying to trade it gain it all back. That is what is usually the way my math works. It's very tenacious. It finds a way to make its money back that it loses and wins more than it loses. So that is what it is. All right, we're out of here, traders. 2 minutes to the New York Open. So happy trails to you. Remember, I'm the singing trader. Until we meet again, happy trails to you. To all our trading friends, yippee-i-oh.